regardless of how it performed on social media, regardless of the comments, I'm just proud of myself for talking about it more openly. And you know what? If somebody copies it, if somebody takes it as inspiration and does it way better than me, I can't control that. What I can control is me talking about it more openly, making content about it, raising awareness for it, so that I'm putting myself and this company in the best position to be seen, to be successful. All right, so today is Saturday. What's today's date? Today's Saturday, March 9th, 2024. And I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able to record and publish an episode yesterday, you know, as I try to do on Fridays, but life was lifing and life was lifing. But I'm back today, and today I am feeling accomplished. I'm feeling like I'm feeling proud of the week that I was able to have this week. I've had a couple of good meetings. I have some follow-up meetings next week. I'm just proud of myself in a couple of different areas. And one of those areas is I was able to get over a fear that I've been having for a while. And it's not, I wouldn't say I've gotten over the fear, but I will say that I am acting in spite of the fear. And I think that's the big thing. I don't think we truly ever get over our fears. I think oftentimes, or more often than not, we still have some of it there, but we've learned to move forward and take steps, and they're like a little bit less uncomfortable. So one of the fears that I've been having is this idea of someone stealing my idea for the Plurawl app that we're building. This self-discovery coach powered by AI. All right, here's a story that I have in my head. The story is, well, actually, let me take a step back. For context, we did walk some people through the prototype late last year, so November, December-ish. And we walked people through the functionality, the benefits, any and all of those things. And that was a private environment. Yo, thinking about it now, I didn't make anybody sign NDAs or anything. That was not a good move on my part. Maybe I can retroactively do it. Anyway, that aside, I walked people through it. So let's say, I don't know, 50 people were in the test group. Like, that's a small number of people. And I wouldn't say they were all like best friends of mine, but they were people within the community, people that have been following me on certain platforms. So there was a little bit of a trust factor there of like, they're not just going to take these ideas and run with it and build their own app, right? They want to see me and the company be successful. That's also something about me though. Like, my default is trust. By default, I will trust people around me until they give me a sign to not trust them, which is something that I think is very different than other people. Other people that I speak to, they say, no, you have to earn my trust. I have trust issues, right? I don't have trust issues. My default is trust, and if you give me a sign that I can't trust you, then that will change. But I give people oftentimes the benefit of the doubt. And that's what I did with this test group. That's why I didn't have them sign any NDAs, which again, I don't recommend, and something I may want to do retroactively, but that was a scary time. Walking people through what I was building was scary. But even up to that point, I had yet to talk about what I was building publicly, like very specifically into the features, the benefits, the algorithm, if you will, even though it's not really an algorithm, but whatever, let's just call it an algorithm for now. I didn't talk about like the methodology and the strategy behind the things. I didn't share screenshots. I didn't share videos publicly of what the prototype looked like, right? And the idea behind that, or the fear, was like, well, if I share it publicly, then people are gonna just take it and run with it. And how realistic is that fear? I think I've been partially influenced by my time working in tech. So let's just take when I was working at Facebook, for example, right? While I was working at Facebook, they've already acquired Instagram, they've already acquired WhatsApp. But if you even think about Instagram as it is now, when I started working at Facebook, Instagram didn't have stories. I know it seems weird to think about, but like, they didn't have IG stories. Snapchat had Snap stories. They were, let's just call them the originators of that feature within the app. Now, Instagram and many other social media companies took that idea and integrated it within their own platforms. Even LinkedIn at some point had stories. I mean, look at TikTok, they have stories. Instagram was probably the most popular app that was able to adopt stories, right? So, and probably it became a more popular feature than it was on the original app. And Facebook has done that many times over when it comes to, let's just call it, stealing ideas and getting away with it, right? Now, I've even seen that from a consumer standpoint. Like me as a user, consumer of apps. So outside of just like a work presence, right? You know what's crazy? Thinking of back when I was working at Facebook and we essentially copied Instagram. We essentially copied Snap. We would go into sales meetings with like pride. Not in pride saying like, yo, we copied Snap, look how well it's doing, but just pride in the quote unquote product that we developed. You know what I mean? Like it's weird looking back at it, talking about the growth of Instagram stories and how people are adopting it and using it and hours spent and the advertising opportunities on there. But like, we failed to mention that we copied it. And take it as you may, right? Copy, take an inspiration from, whatever. But no one really cared. Like, maybe there was a bit of outrage on the side of Snap, or maybe people that were anti-Facebook, but if I had to guess or say, I would say that overall, the world didn't give a fuck. Like, the world, at the end of the day, society just wants to see the best product. And if Instagram stories is fun and cool and helps me in my day-to-day and adds value to my life, most people don't give a fuck that they stole it from Snap. You know? It's kind of wild. I mean, even during quarantine, right? COVID, remember Clubhouse? I loved Clubhouse. I would get in those audio rooms and like, I'd be connecting with so many dope people that I never would have thought of having access to and with. And we would just be having really dope, deep conversations. It really felt like little mini communities were being built. And then it took off so fast that it got the attention of big tech companies. And what happened? Same thing. A bunch of big tech companies were off to the races to see if they could create their own version of it and integrate it within their own apps. Everyone tried, and probably Twitter was the best at it. I mean, I think even Spotify launched audio rooms at one point. Facebook sure tried. I think Twitter was probably the best at it. And Spaces probably remains the winner of the best copycat version of Clubhouse. And what happened to Clubhouse? I don't use it anymore. I mean, I don't use Spaces either, but I don't think the fear that I have is like out of the ordinary. Like, I don't think yes, I'm trying to predict my brain is trying to predict the future and saying that will happen, or saying that is a reality, but also, damn, the nerve of me even thinking that I have enough reach and pull for these big tech companies to even see what the fuck I'm building, you know? Like Snap and Clubhouse, like they reached society level awareness where it got the attention of these big players, right? But early on, I don't think that is going to be the case. Like sure, like, would it be dope if I launch and it goes #1 to the App Store? Sure, amazing. But I don't think that's a realistic thing for me to expect, right? But it's also not just about big tech companies. Like, I also just have the fear, like, those are examples of big tech companies, but I also have the fear of just like a medium tech company, a small tech company, just someone else out there copying my idea. And then this will all be over. The money that I invested, the time that I invested, just all of that. That's been the fear, and that's been the fear that has been holding me back from talking about what I'm building openly and publicly, outside of these private one-on-one conversations or facilitated focus groups where I'm walking a select group of people through the prototype. And it's interesting because when I first launched this company with art, the first thing that I had thought about was like, I need to publish the artwork that I commissioned as soon as possible so that they don't steal my ideas, so that I can say, oh, you made that art in November? Yo, I published that back in February. It was almost like I wanted to be first to publish the art and not even think of like a strategy of like how to get it seen or anything. Like, I wanted to post it as a timestamp almost, to be like, hey, I was here first. You know what I mean? Like, almost like a plant my flag. And I don't know why I didn't think of the fear back then, of a sense of, because it's not like if I posted the artwork on Instagram, yes, I have my timestamp, but that's not holding anyone back from stealing my idea. In fact, people did steal my idea, at least I think they did. So it still wouldn't stop anybody, right? People can steal my idea from, if on my first public post, people can steal my idea when we get investors, people can steal my idea when we get 100 clients, people can steal my idea 10 years from now. People can steal my idea at any point, right? I think I'm doing more harm than protecting of myself and my ideas by not talking about it. Because if people don't know what I'm building, don't know what's coming, if I don't talk about what I'm building, if I don't talk about what's coming, how will people even know? It's impossible, right? So as much as I'm trying to protect myself and protect myself from the fear and the stealing situation that I created in my head, I think I'm doing more harm to myself. So this week I actually started talking about it publicly, like actually posting screenshots of what the app looks like. I started posting videos of the functionality. I started giving specific examples of use cases that people can actually resonate with. And oof, I did that on LinkedIn, I did that on Instagram, and it was received well. I think there were some interesting comments that I received, actually. One, somebody said along the lines of, oh, I didn't even know you were building or launching an app. Yeah, this is exactly why you need to talk about this. That was validating. And somebody else said, no, you know what? I'm going to actually pull up the LinkedIn comment that somebody said, because that, let me tell you, that one hit. That one really hit me. Let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. All right, that wasn't it. Is it this one? From season 7 on, let me see if this one is it. No, this one is not it. All right, essentially they said, I essentially made a LinkedIn post talking about the fears that I have that I'm essentially talking about right now. And then someone said, listen, even if they steal your ideas, they're not going to do it the same way that you're doing it. Like your point of view, your perspective, essentially they were like, they're not going to do it the Pabel way. Like, only you can do that. And I think that's very true. I think we have something very unique to offer that a lot of companies can't offer. Even myself as a CEO and the certain topics and content that I make, I think that's a differentiator. I need to lean into it. But I'm proud of myself. Listen, starting this week, like starting Monday, I started talking about what we're building and the features, the functionality, and regardless of how it performed on social media, regardless of the comments, I'm just proud of myself for talking about it more openly. And you know what? If somebody copies it, if somebody takes it as inspiration and does it way better than me, I can't control that. What I can control is me talking about it more openly, making content about it, raising awareness for it, so that I'm putting myself and this company in the best position to be seen, to be successful. That's what I can control. And I mean, even my boy sent me an example today. There are a lot of companies launching in this space. There's a lot of money being invested in this space for AI, mental health, wellness resources. And it's scary. I'm not gonna lie, it is scary. I think it's easier to build AI, mental health, and wellness resources than it is to build the trust and community that I've built over the past few years. And I think that's going to be a big differentiator for us. It's funny because sometimes I think like, yo, maybe I should stop doing the podcast and dedicate some of that time to just go in on the app or go in on something else, right? Sometimes I really do think about that. Rarely, because I really enjoy these conversations, but it's come to mind. But the more that I think about it, this is actually the most important thing that I can actually do when it comes to the business and the app. And I'm not just talking about the Friday episodes, I'm talking about the Tuesday episodes as well. Because so many people want to go through the self-discovery process, want to start therapy, they want to start journaling, they want to start something when it comes to bettering themselves. And they don't really know where to start. And a lot of these companies, I mean, like, you can go into ChatGPT right now and just be like, yo, give me 100 journal prompts. You could do it right now. A company could build an app that does the same shit, right? But it's not going to hit the same when I give you a journal prompt, or I give you an experience, or I give you a story from someone that looks just like you or has a very similar experience to you. Similar background, similar job, similar lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. It's going to resonate more. I mean, people have told me, like, yo, listen, Jay Shetty is dope, but he's not as relatable to, like, some of the stories that you've shared on this show. So part of this, I also just want to say thank you to whoever's listening if you have shared your experience. You have helped someone start or continue their self-discovery journey. You've helped someone further explore what authenticity means to them. And I do think continuing to facilitate that exchange of experiences and stories between our community, those stories that often go like untold and unspoken, that's the biggest differentiator that I think we'll have in the market. So having these conversations and publishing these journal entries actually help me continue working through this fear of, wait, somebody's going to copy me. When in reality, you know how difficult it is to build trust? Like, you know how difficult it is to build trust to the point where people are sharing stories and experiences that they haven't shared with anyone else? I've done that. For whatever reason, I'm fortunate enough to have created a space where people continue to feel comfortable enough to share these unspoken experiences with me. I'm fortunate enough to take those experiences and share them with the world so that it inspires someone else to do the same. And it's just a ripple effect. Yeah. I think the fear for a long time was also me not realizing what the differentiator for this company was. Because technology, as unique as it may be, as innovative as your idea is, a lot of it can be replicated. But I think what we've built from a community standpoint, it could be replicated, but it takes time. It takes time to build that trust. Yeah. All right. I'm proud of myself. How do I want to feel? I've already spoken about how do I feel. I want to continue feeling fearless. Something else that I've been scared to do is call out specific companies. And some of this is like, yo, why are you starting beef with companies? Like, you don't really need to do that. I don't really need to do it, but maybe I should. I don't know. We'll think about it. But there are specific companies that a lot of people are using, that companies are giving millions of dollars to, and their employees aren't using it. Because, let's face it, they're like glorified content libraries. I'm talking to you, Headspace. I'm talking to you, Calm. Pew, pew. Yeah, I mean, people in my community, in the focus groups have told me, like, yeah, I just use it sometimes because my company pays for it, but like, I use it just in case of emergency. Like, I'm not learning anything. I want to talk really about the things that my audience and community have told me about the challenges that they're experiencing with the apps that they're using, so that we can have an open dialogue about how to fix these problems, so that maybe I can continue to build solutions to help them, because what's out there is not helping, you know? I'm not saying at all. I've used Calm before. I enjoyed it. But I struggle with a lot of the same things that other people do, specifically that look like me. I want to talk more openly about the market and what's out there. And you know what? I think, well, I was about to just tell you a fictional story that I created in my head when I was like, I think, but fuck it, I'll do it. I think it's just scary. I don't know, like, hey, these people have a lot of resources, they have a lot of relationships, they're at the top. And it's given, like, I don't know why, but in my head I feel like fucking 50 Cent. It's just like the new kid on the block with an edge, with like a determination to fucking go after the people at the top. I know I'm better.